Hi everybody, Tom Darling again with Maker Logic, and today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely chalkboard. It's a rustic design. It looks like it's old, like it's made of pallets, but this one actually isn't. But I'm going to show you how I made it look like it is. So stay tuned. So the first thing we start with is taking our Masonite board for the chalkboard and taking the 4x8 sheet and feeding it through the table saw to slice it down to the proper width. After we're done with that, I'll bring it over to the chop saw. I'll measure the correct length and then I'll cut the length, flipping it over to finish the cut. And then it's ready to go. Next we'll take our long fence boards and we'll set the table saw up to cut them 3 inches wide. I'll run all 3 boards through the table saw, get them cut to width, then I'll take them over to the chop saw and I'll cut 2 boards stacked on top of each other, the length of the long sides, and then I'll cut 2 boards the width of the chalkboard. Then I'll put everything on the table just to do a dry fit, just to make sure that everything lines up, just like we want it to line up. Now that we've got everything ripped down to the right width and cut to the right length, all 4 of these boards need pocket holes so that we can put this frame together before we apply it to the chalkboard. To create the pocket holes, I will use my Craig pocket hole jig. I'll take each of the long boards and I'll drill 2 holes side by side on each end that the pocket hole screws will go to attach to the horizontal boards on the frame. And then once we get all these holes drilled, then we can start putting this frame together. Now we're going to stick in 1-inch screws and we're going to put these frames together. Now there's a number of different types of wire brush applications you can use on something like this. There's this small round brush, which is great for getting into corners and making circular motions, but it'll also help. And then there's, of course, the large one, which is great for long runs. So we're going to use both of them, and I'll show you how each one looks on the wood as we roll it out. Start with the long one. You can see here the definition that it makes in the wood. It gives it this nice gouged appearance, and then once it'll take stain, it'll look really great. Now we'll put on the other one and we'll do some touch-ups with this. You want to make sure you don't get too stuck in one particular spot because it will make circular pushes. What I'm going to be using today on this wood, on this frame, is Minwax, and it is a classic gray penetrating stain. I may also come back with a darker top coat depending on how this goes on, because I want to give it that kind of palletized antique look. So we're going to start with this. Once we get the can open, definitely want to put on some latex and nylon or some type of plastic gloves, because this stuff gets everywhere. And there's nothing worse than having it all over your hands for a week. So now you can see it with the gray on it. Let's see how good of a look that has to it. Lighting's not great in here. So we're going to let that dry. We're going to come back later. We're going to put some Minwax paste wax on it. So we don't want it to shine like polyurethane, but we definitely want it to have a nice kind of waxy finish to it. It kind of gives it kind of that rustic, old, petrified wood look to it. Now it's time to go and get the chalkboard painted and prepped and ready to go on the back of this thing. Now, as not seen in this video here, make sure that you use an oil-based spray primer like Kills before you spray paint the black chalkboard paint onto the Masonite. That way it only takes 1 or 2 coats of coverage, as opposed to the 4 or 5 coats that I'm having to apply here because I forgot to put the primer on this one. Our next item and step in this build is we're going to put a small wood frame around the big frame that will actually conceal the backing of the chalkboard and give a nice clean edge to the project. Now I'm just going to test fit. These are going to sit on the sides once the backing is on. And these will go on the bottom, one on the top. And what we'll do is we'll shoot those in with brad needles. So we need to put some stain on these so that they're ready to go around, and then go from there. Now for the wood frame that goes around the actual picture frame of the chalkboard, I'm going to use Minwax Ebony color, which is almost black, but it's going to give a really nice offset for how the chalkboard looks when it goes together. So now it's time to attach the frame around the picture frame. It's going to hold the chalkboard. And I'm going to be using 18 gauge 3/4 inch brad nails to attach the chalkboard, and then I'm going to be using 1 inch brad nails to attach the frame to the outside frame. We're going to lay down these 1/2 inch pieces as a shim, hold up our picture frame off the table. This gives us the ability to locate our outside frames so that they're centered around the chalkboard for attaching. How that frame is going to look before we put the chalkboard inside it. And that's sweet. Now all we got to do is lay the chalkboard inside it and shoot it down. Now it's time to lay this down inside of our frame. Perfect fit. So now all we have left to do is to put the hangers on, and then we'll get this thing wrapped up. And now for the finishing touch, put some Minwax paste wax applied directly to the frame. Now you rub this on just like you would any kind of car wax. You rub it in and then let it sit for a moment and then buff it out. And what it'll do is it'll provide a little bit of a sheen, but not too shiny. It will give it kind of that classic look that we're looking for. So we did it. It only took a couple hours to pull this all together. You can do this too in your shop as well. Check the link in the description below for the paint, the finish, the stain, everything that I use will be in the link. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this video. We'd love it when you join our channel and support the work that we do so I can keep more projects like this coming out. So we're going to keep bringing things to you that you can knock out in a short period of time, but also can provide that rustic modern look and feel that you're looking for in your home or someone else's home. So until next time, see you later.